Hey guys, what's good, what's happening, what's going on? On today's video, we are going to work on a laptop. Now, my friend's dad asked me to take a look at this computer because he had it for a while, said it ran like crap. I just want to get rid of this. I got water up here for my plant, my snake plant. Trying to make some room to be able to work on this computer. Anyway, he had this computer for a while, says it's slow as frig, can't use it for anything. So I cleared off this area over here to put the computer so we can have a look and see exactly what the frig it's doing. So let's see what we're working with here. All right, he told me it was a Dell, but it's clearly an Acer. Upside down logo, just deal with it. It's pretty dirty, been sitting in the bag for a while. You can't do the one-handed open with it, it's too lightweight. All right, so this is an F5 725L. It's got DDR4, USB 3.1. So it's an Intel i7 7500U for ultralight performance. Turbo boost at 3.5 gigahertz. Has an Intel graphics card. Not sure why they're bragging about that. Ooh. You know what scares me about that 12 gigs of RAM? Dad's Acer had 12 gigs of RAM, and 4 gigs of that 12 gigs is soldered right to the main board. Hoping that's not the case on this one, because I do have a memory kit that I bought for Dad's laptop that couldn't use because of that reason, and a 1 terabyte hard drive, which means it's probably a mechanical, seeing how it's a 7th gen i7. Wouldn't doubt it. Now I'm just going to clean this screen a bit because it's covered in smut, and then we'll fire it up and see just how long it takes to boot. You know, one of the worst keyboard designs are these ones here where they put the power button right next to the end key, because if you miss and you hit that power button and Windows is configured to shut down Windows on the power button press, you could be at risk of losing a lot of freaking work. Alrighty, I just fired it up there to see what it's gonna do. Ignore the pile of laundry off to the side. I gotta put it away, but I'm lazy. So he said it takes forever to turn on, and once it's running, it runs really slow. And I guess we'll see how long that little Windows, I'm assuming this is Windows 10 because it's an older computer. It's about 10 years old. But the thing that's going to kill it is that mechanical hard drive. If I can get into it, what I want to do is I'm going to wipe this USB drive and I'm going to make a recovery disk for it, because I have some spare parts that I bought for other computers that I just didn't use. And one of them is right here, a 1 terabyte SSD, which will wake up any computer. And I also have this 16 gig kit here, which came out of my Dell computer. All right, it's finally loaded in, I think. I don't know. We'll see how long it stays on this black screen for. That took about 4 minutes for it to launch. We have a cursor at least. The thing is a lot of people will take these old laptops that are running like crap. It just auto logs in. There's no password needed. Okay. Like, people will take these old computers that run like crap and just put them on Kijiji for like 150 bucks. And the thing is if anybody out there is looking to learn like a system like Linux, you can buy one of these systems for 150 bucks, get a 512 gig SSD, pop it in there, upgrade the RAM if it's possible. If it's DDR3, you can still get DDR3 out there. There's still people selling it at a good price. And then once you upgrade the system, install your Linux operating system, and you'll have yourself a little rocket ship to learn that operating system on. It's amazing. Like, that's what I did with the 3rd generation i5 Dad gave me. I installed Linux on it, and I've been playing around with that and trying to learn how it works. And, you know, because Windows is slowly getting worse and worse as time goes on, so it's time to see what other operating systems offer. You know, you might come across something that's a real gem in Linux that you can't do in Windows. Just still waiting for this thing to log in. It's still stuck on the username screen. So, but I don't have the recovery disks in the bag. I checked. So the only option is to use the Acer tool to generate a recovery disk, because this system is definitely getting an SSD. It's got to wake up.
6.5 hours later.
All right, we're in, and I'm seeing nothing but junk all over the desktop. So I'm pretty sure this computer is probably infected big time, like super defense. I am not putting, why is Malwarebytes running? Like, there's a bunch of junk on this system that is just killing it. And the battery no longer holds a charge. So that's a thing too. Okay, so my plan is, like, there's Norton Security Scan on here. There's SS Update. I don't know who installed these. I've never seen this computer. I've done a lot of work for them on computers in the past. I've never seen this particular laptop before, but like saskutil 64.sys is on the desktop, SAS repair is on the desktop, super anti spyware is all over the desktop, and that program just reports cookies as a virus. I don't know what all this crap is on here for. Like CC Clean is on here. which is fine if you know how to use it. Why is Teams launching? I never told Teams to launch. I'm not even on the internet. Frig off, Teams. Yeah, I'm gonna have to explain to my friend's dad that once I get this fixed up, watch who he lets use it, because this thing is super, super, super infected. Now, hopefully I can make a recovery disk without it copying the viruses over. Like antivirus, AVG's on here, McAfee's on here, Norton's on here. Like, that's insane. AVG, McAfee, Norton, super anti-spyware, bunch of video games, but whatever, they're video games. Super delete. Like, who put these on there? Why? For some reason, there's dynamic link libraries sitting right on the desktop. Oh man, I don't understand what happened. SAS task? Like, why is that on there? Like, did they get a call from India telling them they're Microsoft Windows support? Been on this screen for like 10 minutes, but at least it said please. Got confirmation they don't care about the contents on the hard drive. My original plan was to do a recovery disk and then swap out the drive for an SSD, install, and then use one of my caddies to copy any like pictures and stuff over. But apparently they don't care about that. So we're gonna go ahead and do a Windows reset to blow away all the crap that's installed on here and then make the recovery disk, because let me tell you, this is bad. All right, it's doing the reset. That's a good sign. It's gonna take a hot minute though. So, Shazbot. Kind of wanted to get this fixed today and ready to go because tonight I'm going to pool with a buddy and it's his dad's computer. So I figured when I drop him off at home, I can bring the computer over and then his dad can have his computer back then. Two birds stone, same time. All right, guys, just got through the preliminary setup of Windows 10. We're still on the old platter drive, but I need to make a recovery disk. I wanted to see, like in some modern laptops and desktops, they can actually store the product key for your Windows installation in the BIOS. This machine is too freaking old for that feature, so it can't do that. So, unfortunately, you need the Acer recovery disk. Now, any laptop you purchase doesn't come with that anymore. All the Dells like when I bought my Dell Inspiron, my old one, my red one, back in like 2013, that was the last machine that ever came with an install disk. Even this Acer desktop didn't come with one. You literally just got to download or use the recovery CD creator to make the recovery disk if your Windows takes a shit or if your SSD blows up. You need that recovery disk, or you literally got to go buy another copy of Windows 11 to install on it with a whole new license. Awesome, right? So waiting for this thing to be done, and then I'm going to make the recovery disk. This might be a 2-day job because this thing took a lot of time, and I'm supposed to go to pool tonight, so I guess I won't get this done in time for my friend's dad to bring it to pool with me. But we'll see. We'll see. Right now, we're at the mercy of a drive that is being chiseled by cavemen. Because let me tell you, mechanical drives, not a big fan. SSD, all for me. It's been 4.5 hours, and this thing is finally attempting to log into Windows. It's setting up my user profile right now. I really dislike the fact that Microsoft forces you to create a Microsoft account to use the product, because I just want to get into friggin' Windows so I can create the recovery disk so I can gut this thing, put new hardware in it, make it faster, and then reinstall the OS. But now I know when I do reinstall the OS, I'm going to have to get it set up to where I want it, bring it out to my buddy's house, and then have his dad finalize it, because it's ask him for like your Microsoft account, and if he doesn't have one, he's gonna have to create one, and all that fun stuff, you know, the stuff that Microsoft now makes you do because of reasons. Like, so dumb. So dumb. All right, well, says this might take several minutes, but it's already taken several hours. So what's several minutes to several hours, right? Frig sakes.
Eventually.
Finally, making some progress. Formatting the drive. This all could have been taken care of if the manufacturer would have just shipped a shitty USB drive with the recovery partition on it. But what do you expect? It's an Acer.
The next day.
Alrighty guys, it's a new day. I went out to pool last night, couldn't get the computer finished because it was literally taking 5 hours to make the recovery disk, but we got it. So computer's turned off now, it's unplugged. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and see what we gotta do to get inside this thing to see where I'm wondering if we even need to pull the whole back chassis off. Like, this might be the battery here, but it could also be the hard drive, because I think the hard drive is sitting, you know what, let's just pull this off first, Can you guys even see that? Yeah, you can. Let's just pull that off first and see what we got underneath. So I got my iFixit kit here, because I freaking love this kit. Honestly, if you work on computers, guys, get one of these. These iFixits are fantastic. It even comes with like a little slotted spot to put your screws, so if you're not sure where they go, you can use the grid to like kind of build a map. Comes up clutch. I think I got it off Amazon for like 20 bucks or something like that, this one here. And it comes with like this one here that I bought though. It's meant for doing like cell phones. It's got like your glass suction cup, your picks for spudging, your spudger tool. I've never used this thing, but I guess it's good for prying. And it's got like a little gut hook on it and shit. So all pretty cool. Screwdriver goes there. You got some tweezers, and then you got these tweezers here, which just give you a little bit more grip. I can't get them out of the foam, but yeah, you get the point. Pretty good kit. Pretty good piece of kit. I used to do cell phone repair. That's why I bought the cell phone one. But it works fine for computers too. So I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah, if we can avoid taking out every single screw. All right, so this is where the spudger is going to come in. But if we can just get to what we need. I did pull that screw, right? Yep. Without having to completely expose the motherboard, then that's going to be pretty cool. I miss when laptops were like this, where you could replace the items that were known to fail, like the hard drive and, you know, the parts that you would upgrade. Like, you don't need access to the processor and the heatsink until later on in the laptop's life, when it gets, you know, half a cat stuck in it. And all right, this should pretty much come out. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. This is what I miss about laptops, guys, where you don't need to take off 27 screws. And then, okay, this is also what I love about laptops, is they don't solder the RAM in. But these older laptops, everything's here. Everything's exposed that you need to replace to upgrade it. So, like I said before, I bought this for another project. I can't remember what. Oh, it was this old Acer I had that I was going to use for like a media PC, put it on the TV downstairs. But due to a power failure and a surge suppressor that didn't suppress the surge, that machine exploded. So, or was this? No, I bought this for the Nook. That's what it was, for the mini PC. But the one they sent me wasn't the right one. When I bought that Nook, it was supposed to have one NVMe and one SATA 2.5 inch. But the one that was also supposed to have two HDMI ports. The one they sent me had DisplayPort, HDMI port, and two NVMe slots in it. So I never ended up using this. I have nothing really to put that in. So I was like, you know what, my buddy's dad, you know, he's done a lot for me in the past. So I figure I could help him out and hook him up with something a little quicker. So we'll get this hard drive out of the way if it wants to come. Is that on a rail system? It is. It's on a rubber rail system. So we're gonna have to remove this rubber rail system. Oh, it's a Seagate. No wonder why the drive is failing. I ran a drive test and the drive was reporting errors. So at least now I know why it's burning so slow. I'm just going to turn on a light so you guys can see a little better, because I have no idea what the vision looks like. Not that great. There, we get a little bit of vision on this situation. So I'm going to grab my screwdriver here. We're going to pull these micro screws out. So yeah, these little retainers, they're pretty easy to work with. Every laptop has a different way of the hard drive being held in. Some of them actually have a metal sled, like the Inspiron 5775 or 5755. It actually has a metal sled, but this one here literally, well, it has a plastic coating on it. So it has kind of sort of a sled. It's just a cheaper version, I guess, to keep the drive from grounding out. And because all these screws are the same, I'm just using the same exact cubby on the lid of the iFixit kit to put them in. One thing I wish that this iFixit kit was a bit more magnetic on the screwdriver. And you're probably saying, what the hell, Adam? You're working with a hard drive. Don't even worry about that. All right, so here's the old hard drive. It is a Seagate 1 terabyte, 4,800 RPMs. Didn't even know they made those. Now, this computer was designed to be low power consumption. So that's probably the reason for the low RPMs. So this is going to go in there like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and reinsert the screws into the new solid state drive. All right, the new solid state drive is completed. So now to pop it back in, you just simply line it up, squeeze it down, line it up, and then push it in. And it should, I say should, pop in there perfectly. Done. Hard drive upgraded. Now, this RAM is easy to replace, guys. Literally, you have a tab here and a tab here. Just pop, and it should just pop out. Now, what the heck is this? This is a 4 gig stick of unknown RAM. Now, this is what I hate when laptop manufacturers do this 12 gigs of RAM, because you see one with 8 gigs, and then you see one with 12. Of course, you're going to buy the one with 12, because, you know, 12 is higher than 8, and you're thinking you're getting a deal. Problem is if your RAM is mismatched, it will not run in dual channel. You'll have more RAM, but the access will be slower. So theoretically, an 8 gig of RAM machine will outperform a 12 gig of RAM machine. So what I'm gonna do here, because this is DDR4, I have the old kit from my Inspiron that I got a couple years ago when I upgraded it to 32 gigs of RAM. We're gonna chuck this in there. See, this is the reason why I keep old parts. Not for me. Definitely not for me. I know I'm gonna be able to recycle. Now to install RAM, it's pretty easy. It can only go in one way. It won't fit this way here. The reason being, and I'm just showing this, I know a lot of you guys probably already done this, but in case somebody watching this hasn't and is curious, you see on the socket there's a little thing right here, a little tab. That tab is offset, so it can only fit in, like if I try to force the RAM in this way, it's not gonna line up. But if I try to put it in this way, it's gonna line up. So you just push it all the way in. Now I gotta watch out because there's a wire here, probably the Wi-Fi adapter. I just gotta lift that up to get it out of the way. And there you go. One stick of RAM installed. Gonna pop the other one in, and then we'll get this thing fired up. Make sure it posts, and we're good. Now, before I put the screws back in, I am going to put the lid on because there are some metal bits exposed underneath, but this is just a snap lid, so I'm just going to do a half-assed job of covering this up. Like I said, I'll put the screws in once I confirm that she posts. Of course, it won't have an operating system on it because this drive is literally brand new out of the package. Guys, solid state drives are not that expensive anymore. And this is also for anybody who has like an old potato laptop. Maybe your family member gave it to you. You want to do something with it. These two little simple upgrades will bring more life back to this machine than you know, even if you're running Windows on it. It'll make it into like a pretty quick machine. You won't be playing like, you know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare on it or anything because it still has that integrated video card. But for daily productivity, you'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just fire it up. Make sure it doesn't go beep, beep, beep. Now I think it's F12 for the boot menu or F2. I want to get into the BIOS here. So we're in the BIOS now. So it sees the solid state disk. There's the serial number for it. It sees the 16 gigs of RAM. That's awesome. Not much in here. Network boot F12. Menu boot is disabled. I want to enable that. All right. Let's go here. Boot. What are we set to? Okay. I want to move USB. I shouldn't even need to worry about this. Okay. Does this thing have a security chip? It only has a single TPM version 1. It doesn't have TPM 2. So this thing here is officially stuck at Windows 10. It will not go to Windows 11. Not a big deal. You guys like my plant? I named him Groot. Okay, so we're good. We're good. So let's hit F10 to save and exit. I'm just going to pop this USB drive in the side. It went red. We're good. F10, save and exit. And then I'm going to hammer on the F12 key on boot so I can get the boot menu, and it's not giving me any options. This is not good. Why is it not detecting the USB bootable device? All right, I got some shit to work out. All right, so I installed the old hard drive back through a USB. I don't know what the heck it's doing. This thing's not spinning. I think it just turned off. Oh, man. Oh, wait, it's doing something. I think it's going into Windows. See, it kicks over. It fires up this. This thing is spinning now. I don't think the recovery disk made itself correctly because I noticed that there is a bit of files missing when I plugged it into my personal computer over here. And I was just taking a look to make sure I created the recovery disk correctly. I did everything to what they said, and this disk is not bootable. So that's a problem. Okay, I have no idea what the hell happened. All of a sudden now it's working. I don't understand. So let's go keyboard layout, US, choose an option. Recover from a drive. What? Sure. Let's see if this thing can actually do it. Like, I honestly don't know what the hell's going on here. Yeah, just do it. Let's see if this thing will actually recover. Holy crap, that was way quicker to set up. Like, I haven't even finished watching the YouTube video I started. So it's coming along. It's just setting up the profile right now. Should be done any second. Because SSD is like night and day when you stick it in an old toaster oven laptop like this. So I had to tell my buddy's dad that the battery in this machine is toast. It will not take a charge. That's an internal battery, so I'd have to take the back panel off to extract it and replace it. They don't make battery replacements for this unit anymore. You can only buy the cheap Chinese ones. And I've learnt my lesson from the MacBook, the white MacBook I had, about buying those batteries. You don't buy those batteries, like, ever. And there we go. We're in Windows. I don't have it hooked up to the network right yet, but we'll get that done soon. Actually, I'm going to do that at his house because it's going to ask for his Microsoft account the moment it gets online. He's going to have to set that up. But I'm going to clear off a lot of the bloatware that's on this thing because it's an Acer. It has bloatware like McAfee and all that junk, and then go from there. All right, guys. So the way he wanted it set up was that it didn't require a password to connect. I know, security issues. It drives me crazy, but whatever. That's how he wants it. The client's always right. You give it the computer to them how they want it. I'm going to go ahead and fire it up now, and we're going to see how long it takes. Now this is in real time. I am not accelerating the video. And it logs in. And it's up and running. Like, this is like night and day. Night and friggin' day. That wasn't even a minute. Like, now we're probably a minute. No, we're not even a minute into this part of the video. Like, 40 seconds to boot. I think he's going to be pleasantly pleased with this machine. So guys, there you go. A simple way to bring back an old toaster oven to make it into a race car for simple use. Obviously, you ain't playing any AAA games on here. You might get away with Rocket League. You might get away with League of Legends on low. You might get away with some games. Minecraft, probably. It does still have the onboard Intel graphics card. But for what my buddy's dad's going to use it for, you know, checking email, surfing the web, shit like that, this machine will do everything he needs. He doesn't play those video games. He has a couple hunting games, but they're, you know, low poly. The graphics card will handle it. Chances are he's going to have it plugged into his television anyway, so he can really see what he's shooting at. But yeah, there you go. Simple, easy peasy. SATA drive, extra RAM, turns a potato into a race car. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, click that like button. Any questions, comments, concerns, down below they go. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. And peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.